DeRay Mckesson, please come forward. Your belief in the possibility for change is infectious, as we can see. In our country's ongoing work to address racism and improve civil rights, you have taken up the mantle of leadership for a new generation. Never too young to make a difference, you have been shaping policy since joining student government in the 6th grade. That's impressive. As a teenager, you served as chair of a youth grant-making organization in Baltimore. Go Baltimore. Yes. Later, you led education programs and held positions in the public school systems. But the fatal shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, propelled you into activism. As a passionate communicator, you quickly became a leading voice in the Black Lives Matter movement. Through grassroots involvement and extensive social media networks, you have, as the New York Times stated, built the most formidable American protest movement of the 21st century to date. DeRay, there is still so much work to be done, but we at the New School applaud you, we join you, and can't wait to see what you will do next. For inspiring dedication to social justice, we confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa.
For the last 19 months, we've been standing in streets in protest in New York City, in Ferguson, in Baltimore, and in cities across the country. And at its root, protest is this idea of telling the truth in public. We stood in streets and we use our bodies to tell the truth that Mike Brown should be alive, that Rakia, that Akai, that Tamir should be alive today. We disrupted board meetings and commissions to tell the truth that they weren't using their institutional power in ways that honored their Black lives or honored the lives of other marginalized people. And we told a simple truth that we continue to tell today, that Black lives matter. Black lives matter. There we go. The work of truth-telling doesn't end, and we are all here to share truths that we have learned as you make your next step in this process. It is important that you become a truth teller in your work, not only in your words, but your actions. And I'll share 6 things that I've learned over the last 18 months in protest around the country. The first is that the battleground is often a battleground of ideas. We know that the way people think about the world is often the way that they show up in the world. And that's where we have to fight. We are fighting about a conception of safety that is not rooted in the police. If I asked you where you feel the most safe, it's probably not in a room full of police officers. It's probably in a place where there are people who love you, where there's food and shelter. Like, that's what safety means. And then the question for us becomes, how do we scale that up? But again, the battleground is about ideas. It is about the way you think about the world. And what you have to do is continue to dream, continue to push the status quo, and continue to think about a different world that we can live in. The second is that your education is not over, that this in so many ways is the beginning, that what you got at the New School was a foundation for how to think about the world, how to engage in the world, and you're exposed to new things. And you will get the tools, you got the tools here to be a lifelong learner, to continue to grow in what the world means to you. I think about myself, I learned so much because of Twitter, or the spaces that I've been in, that have pushed me to think about new ways of being. The third is that the work of social justice will always be more important than it is popular. So if you are getting in this work to get famous or to get money, it's not the right work. Do the work because it's the right work to do, and the rest will follow. The fourth is that we aren't born woke, something wakes us up. And I say that because for me, it reminds me to be patient in this work, that it wasn't until the death of Mike Brown that I understood the crisis that was happening across the country. In 2016 alone, the police have killed nearly 3 people a day so far. In 2015, the police killed someone every day, but 18 in all states but 3. And I did not know that until Mike's body lay in the ground for 4.5 hours. That we have to remember to be patient as we help people understand that the world can be a better place, that we push people to engage differently in this world. The next is that there's a difference between being woke and staying woke. I know a lot of people who understood it yesterday and don't get it today. That when we say stay woke, that is a reminder that the work has to continue every day. That the work happens at dinner tables, it happens in classrooms, it happens on Twitter. The work happens anywhere you are, helping people understand that the world can be a different place. But again, there is a real difference between being woke and staying woke. And the last is that you already have permission. That so many people are waiting for someone to invite them into the work, and they're waiting for a meeting to join. What it means to organize is for you to say, I think the world can be a better place, for you to imagine how to make that happen and find other people who believe with you. And when I think about the movement, there was no 1, 2, or 3 people that founded this space. I am one of many people in the movement. It was people who came outside and said, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to stay here today, and I'm going to return tomorrow. That is what the work was rooted in. We often say that love is the why. It is why we were in the street, because we know that the world can be a better place. It is rooted in our sense of hope, and we understand hope to be the belief that our tomorrows can be better than our todays, and that is so real for us. I'll close with the end of a chant that we often say in protest, and I will ask for you to repeat after me, and it is, we have nothing to lose but our chains. Thank you.